Hello everyone, welcome to the Introduction to Computer Science, week number 3. I am sharing with you on the Blackboard for week number 3, starting on September 19. All of the items that are assigned this week are due September 29th. As you can see, there is a list of objectives and the instructional material section and the list of assignments that you need to do. Textbook question, 2 iBook exercise, and then a grade calculator. So what I want to do is to go through the lesson plan, which is posted here for you, and go over the things what you need to know and what you need to do. So if you download this, you should get something like this. And so the topic for this week is the binary arithmetic operations. Since you learned how to do a number converting, now is the time to learn about arithmetic operations. In terms of programming, you need to know about branching and the loop mechanism. And as an exercise, I'd like you to do a grade calculator. So the first assignment is to do the textbook questions. I put the numbers here for you. So it's asking you to add those numbers and do the subtractions and things like that. I put some notes here for you to kind of see what I'm doing. And if you're adding, you basically adding the way that you normally add, and these are binary numbers. Since they're all assumed to be binary, you add them. So 0, 1 is a 0, 1, 0 is a 0, 1 plus a 0 is a 1, 1 plus a 0 is also 1. But when you add 1 and a 1, it's a 2, right? But 2 in binary is a 1, 0, so that's why you put it here. And then when you do the subtraction, you also start from the right, just like the way you do in decimal. But because you cannot take away 1 from 0, you keep borrowing until you get something here. And when you come here, it is a 2, but you need to borrow 1 here. So 2, and then becomes a 2 here. So 2 minus 1 will give you 1. 1 minus 0 is a 1, 1 minus 0 is a 1, and then because you let it borrow, so it became a 0, 0, 0 minus 0 is a 0, and then 1 minus 1 will be 0, so that's the answer. You can use the online calculator to check this out, so let me take you over there. So I like this one, which I give it to you in here. So if I could put in a number here for you, 111 or 110, 11110 here, plus the 10001, and you simply click on the calculate. It gives you this answer here in binary, so that would be the answer, which is what I got here. But you can also see what it would like if it was a decimal equivalency here is a 30 plus 17 is a 47. So you can put the two numbers here, you can pick different operations here, and then check your answers. Next one is for you to be familiar with ASCII code. And so here's an ASCII code that I'd like you to know about. So here's a ASCII code that represents all of the characters that we're using for programming. Here are the list of characters. As you can see, there are these numbers here, there are letters here, and special characters, and what they represent in terms of the actual value in decimal or hex or oct, they should be all the same, right? But just in different forms. So I'd like you to write your name using this. So if you, let's say your name is Bob. So capital B, small o, small b, capital B is 42. So let's say here, capital B is a 42, right? So I'm writing this in hex, and so maybe I should have written down what these numbers are, but typically they are represented in hex. So there's a B42, and then O is a small o, which is like right here, so it should be 6F, right? So let me bring this guy a little bit closer here. maybe over here, right? It's 6F, and then a small b, you got a 62. So your answer would be 42, 6F, and 62. Because we don't write B or B in computer, we write 42, 6F, and 62. Or at least that's the way that the computers operate, right? I'd like you to go through the online exercise for chapter 4 and 5 in Zybook. And so let me get over there. For example, chapter 4 is about branching. So this is kind of like similar to if and then. If this certain condition is true, then go over to some other areas to do the assignments, kind of like a subroutine type of thing, right? So go through them. Should be pretty straightforward. There is a looping mechanism, as it is typically available in other programming languages. There are the while loop. There is a traditional for loop, and there's a nested loops that you need to be aware of. So go through them and be familiar with how to use them. A quick demo on the calculator, grade calculator. So I'd like you to, I think there's a little section on the bottom, so I'll come to that a little bit. Okay, so maybe I do have it here. So on the Blackboard here, I gave the code, but try to do it without looking at it. But here is the program that I was using, and basically all you have to do is to let me just do a little quick demo here. It says print your name. Notice that there was no space on there, so I'm just going to say Jane. Enter the scores between 0 to 100, so I'm going to say 100, 90, 80, and then maybe 70. Now it's going to ask me for the assignments between 0 to 10. So I'm going to say 10, 9, 8, and then it gives you the your average score. Rewrite your name, average exam score, average assignment score, overall grade of what it is, using the calculations that metrics that I provided, and then converts the number into a letter grade and says you have B in this class. So that's a quick demo. Let me take a quick look at the lecture material. So there is what's called in computer arithmetic, there is really no subtraction. It's all addition. So we have to, there's no way to subtract things. So we can only add. But the way we need to add numbers for subtraction is using what's called a 2's complement. And the 2's complement is made up of 1's complement plus 1. And 1's complement is exactly the opposite value of the number in terms of the digits. So if the number is 101, 1's complement is exactly the opposite of this, like 0, 1, 0, like that, right? So that's 1's complement, which is pretty straightforward. And the 2's complement is the 1's complement of the number plus 1, right? And so 1's complement is this one. You add 1 to that, it becomes 0, 1, 1. And then you use this number to add to whatever number you want to add, and it actually becomes a subtraction. So that's really a roundabout way for the computer to do the subtraction, because there's no real subtraction, right? And then in terms of Zybook branching, this is kind of like you can do, there are what's called a Boolean expressions or operations, you know, for certain condition to be A and B, or A or B, or A not, or whatever, not A, things like that. So you can do that. In terms of the loops, there is why do we want to use a loop? Like if you want to use a loop, if you want to repeat things over and over again, especially if you don't know how many times you're going to loop it, depending on whatever the user wants, right, or the condition. So there are different types of loops. One of them is called the while loop, and so the other one is the for loop, and stuff like that. So go through them and see if you can get to familiarize on how to do that, right? So here's some details about the grade calculator, about how much they are supposed to be worth and so forth. So just take a screenshot of, I mean, you can do it online, you can do PyCharm or Thorny or whatever you like, and just take a screenshot of it. And then if you did it anything different, then well, you should submit the code in the text file. And if you can do a little bit different than what I have shown you, and so you're welcome to do that. All right. So the rest of them is just some of my notes. If you want to take a look at them, you can do that. Otherwise, this is week number 3. I've shown you how to do some of the assignments and talked about what's been covered. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Otherwise, I look forward to receiving your work. Take care. Bye-bye.